I'm bone on bone. Does this change how you treat me? We hear questions like this all the time. And the answer may surprise people. No, it doesn't change how we treat you. Not because we ignore your MRI, but because your MRI does not tell us how your body functions. In fact, 40% of people waiting for total knee replacements avoided surgery after proper mechanical evaluations. 40%. So today I'm going to show you why MRIs often don't match your pain, why degeneration does not mean you're doomed, and how we can help people feel 10 to 20 years younger, even when imaging looks terrible. If you've been told you're bone on bone, have stenosis, or it's just arthritis, this video could completely change how you see your body. So let's talk about MRIs. MRIs shows age, but does not show dysfunction. So let me explain this. So when we go in and we take imaging, you look at the research on taking an MRI, it's not great. And when you compare that, and not compare that, but when you add that in with like a 10-minute evaluation from a doctor, you really don't get enough information as to really what is going on. So you can take 100 people with no pain whatsoever, and 60 to 90% of them are going to show rotator cuff tears, no pain. No pain, fully functional. Rotator cuff tears, meniscal tears, they're going to show degeneration, they're going to show arthritis, they're going to show herniations, they're going to show a small disc height, like they're going to show all these different things, but is that really what's going on, or is that just your normal body's wear and tear? It's kind of like as we get older, we get wrinkles on our face, and that's just a normal part of aging. Well, we get wrinkles on our bones and structures. It's a normal part of aging. It doesn't mean that that is causing you pain. It's also why people can go and get an MRI that look like they have barely any pain, but it looks horrific. And the doctors are like, I don't understand like how you're functioning because this looks really bad. And you can take someone else who's in so much pain and they get an MRI and it's like, I don't know why you're hurting because it's really not that bad. And so you just can't rely off of an MRI on anything. You really have to rely on the evaluation, on someone that's really going to spend some time with you doing an evaluation and seeing how your body responds, because how your body responds helps us in giving you information as to, yes, you're responding very well. This should resolve. You should be feeling a lot better. Like we can see that. So like whether your body gets better, worse, or stays the same, it all gives us information, and our body, your body is going to guide us in what we should be doing. We just have to listen to it. So there's research that was done for like knees. People were in line for a total knee replacement, and they went through this evaluation process that's very similar to our evaluation process, and they basically put them into different categories. And so these people, their imaging was horrible enough that they're like, and they had enough pain that they were in line to have a total knee replacement. And they went through this evaluation process. It's very similar to our evaluation process, and they put them into categories. So there's things that we saw, like, we always say mobility before stability. And so they put them in this mobility category of like, yeah, they lost mobility in their knee, and we're gonna go do some mobility things, some repeated motion type directions, whether it's flexion, extension, maybe some sort of rotation. You don't have to understand what I'm talking about on that. That's just like, we know what we need to do. And then once we know that direction, we teach them. And so that's kind of what happened. And then the ones that didn't have mobility issues, they went and put them into stability and just went and said, here's some general exercises. Let's just see what happens. Of the people that got put into mobility, so 40% of the people that were in line waiting for a total knee replacement got input into that mobility category, and within 2 to 4 weeks, everything resolved. Like, did not need to have the surgery. 100% functional, no problems. 40%, that's nearly half the people. So how many people are getting surgeries when they didn't need to have surgeries? They're getting surgeries based on their MRI results, based on the degeneration, based on the, bone on bone, like whatever. Like, how many people are getting surgery that don't need it when 40% of them resolved? So you have to like think about that. Like that's huge. So why is our evaluation different? Because we're looking at the whole body. We hear it all the time, like no one else looked at my back when I had knee issues. No one else looked at my hip when I had knee issues. Like, we look at the site of the pain as a general like what most healthcare providers do, and we don't actually go and look at how everything works together. Because let me tell you, your femur's attached to the knee. You have ankle issues that also, your tibia and your fibula also attaches into that knee. Any kind of combinations where something's not working can affect the knee. And so we've got to look at the whole body, and we've got to look at mobility first, and we take baselines. So when we take baselines, we go in based on our probably 20, 30-minute conversation with you, asking a lot of questions, understanding how your body responds with certain positions, gives us information of like where we want to start. And then we take baselines. We take baselines above and below where there's issues, sometimes two above, if we feel like there's a potential of having an issue there. And so then when we start working on something, we go back and retest the baselines. And whether you get better, worse, or stay the same, it all gives us information and helps us navigate your body. Because where we start with your body may be completely different than where we start with someone else's body. But y'all may have similar pains. Like, it's not just a cookie cutter, oh my gosh, let's just start this. This is step 1, this is step 2, step 3. No, we go through and your body will tell us what step 1, step 2, step 3, and the order matters. Like, order matters and where we start, because sometimes we start like, yeah, that improved. Nope, came right back again. Okay, that's not where we need to start. We go to another area, we work on it, like, yep, now everything's improving. Okay, cool. Now we can go back to that area once we've improved that other area, because the order of how we treat matters. But your body will let us know what that order is. We just have to listen to it. So that's how our evaluation is different. Now, degeneration is not, it's not dysfunction. Like, degeneration is something that just, again, is normal wear and tear. So for instance, you can have things like stenosis. Okay, that looks like you have stenosis in the back, and that's where you're going to get this diagnosis. But I've had, in all of my 25 years of treating clients, I've had one true stenosis case, and all the other ones, they present like it, but they're not. Because once we do our evaluation, we start like assessing their mobility, and we're monitoring their symptoms, and their symptoms are getting better and better and better. I'm like, that's not stenosis. And we have other videos out there that explain all this stuff, but like, you can't rely on that. Just like bone on bone, like in your back, like the lower L4, L5, is the disc height is next to nothing. Yeah, we've seen that before, but yet we've seen people that function totally, like we teach them what they need to do, and their mobility starts improving. We start improving mobility above the area, down below the area, and all of a sudden their function starts improving. Well, just because their disc height was small didn't mean that we couldn't help them. Like, again, your body, it doesn't matter what it says. We're going to do an evaluation process and see how your body responds, and that's what matters. So again, same thing with arthritis. I mean, I can give you example after example after example. We don't like we always say, the diagnosis does not give us a game plan. Yeah, you got this diagnosis when you come in, great, okay, cool. We're gonna test it and make sure that, is it really or is it not? Because we'll know, because we know how it should respond if you have something like that. So that's where the evaluation, again, is so key. Now, I also want to introduce you to other things that we have, such as regenerative technologies, such as Shockwave and EMTT, like a high-powered pulse electromagnetic field. And so these also help us with, Shockwave helps us with tissue repair. So, when there's mobility issues, you can have mobility issues from joints that aren't moving. We get those moving, you start feeling a lot better. You literally can feel 10, 20 years younger when we get those joints to start moving, because you don't have the stiffness, you don't have the pain that you feel like is just a part of aging. It's not. And so when we improve the mobility, the joint is an issue. If the mobility improves and it comes right back, I almost kind of tell people, like, you can have tissues around the joint that basically stopped healing and become more degenerative around the joint, that as soon as we get things moving, those tissues go like glue, and it's like, boom, you're right back. You're right back to where you were. Well, when we start noticing those patterns and they're not getting better, because as we start moving people and teaching them how to improve their mobility in their joints, they should get better and better and better and better. Well, if they don't, then we know that there's tissues around that joint that is creating the restriction, the degenerative tissues that's acting like glue, that has no blood flow or blood supply that makes it flexible again. They don't have it. This is where Shockwave comes into play, because Shockwave can, again, break up degenerative tissue, adhesions, calcifications, revascularize those areas so that you actually get tissue repair starting all over again. It makes your tissue young again. And then now the mobility improves. So like, how your body responds to things gives us clues as to why it's happening and what's going on. And that's how we use our regenerative technologies. EMTT basically will repair the cellular piece of it, the cellular, the metabolism, those kind of things that are happening anytime you have injury or chronic pain or anything. You have cell damage. Cells don't function. When cells don't function, you don't get nutrients in. You don't get nutrients in, you don't have healing. You don't get detox out. You constantly can have just swelling and inflammation and irritation. And so when we can flip those cells to help improve that, the nutrients coming in and detox going out on top of the tissue repair, man, that's magic. And that's where we pair all these things in. So if you do even have degenerative tissue, whether it's your knee, your back, your shoulder, I don't care, whatever it is, we can usually help with our regenerative technologies. It has been a game changer for our practice. And it's really when you can improve that mobility and improve getting to whatever the source is of what's going on, you will feel 10 to 20 years younger. You just will. And you'll know exactly what to do to maintain that. And so that's one of the biggest things that we do, but it's because we look at the whole body. It's because of our evaluation process. So ask yourself, do you feel old because of a number or because getting up hurts, turning in bed hurts, walking feels stiff? Aging isn't about living longer, it's about functioning longer. And stiffness is not a life sentence. If this resonates with you, we actually created a free report called How to Stop Stiffness and Feel 40 as you move into your 60s and beyond. I'll link it below. And comment stiffness below and tell me, what diagnosis were you given?